was one day that I will remember for the rest of my life. And that day was an episode of Steven Universe. Now, you might be thinking, how could such a happy, cheerful, adventurous show go wrong? Well, I'll tell you. I'd gotten home and did my normal routine, did my homework, get something to eat, etc., etc. My mom had called me down telling me that she had to go walk one of her friend's dogs because she said her friend was at work. So I was home alone, normally. My brother would be with me, but he went with my mom, and my dad was at work. So I was lying in bed on my phone chatting to friends on an app called Pick College, when I looked up to see that Cartoon Network was advertising New Thursdays. It said that up next was a Steven Universe episode, one of my favorite Cartoon Network shows other than Pokemon, Regular Show, and Teen Titans. I posted on the app from earlier saying to my followers that I would be back soon. I turned off my phone, set it beside me, and turned on the TV. I was pretty sure that this was supposed to be the Uncle Grandpa / Steven Universe crossover, so I was excited, but I didn't get what I expected. The episode started with the normal title theme for the show, which I always love to hum to. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the theme, but when it got to the title of the episode, that's when it got strange. The normal clothesline that held Steven's clothes was snapped, and Steven's shirt and pants were on the ground, dirty and a bit shredded, but not enough that they were completely apart. The title, a bit of a lighter tint than usual, read, Faded Gems. Huh, I thought. The episode was supposed to be named Say Uncle. I went to the guide, and it still said that the title was for the crossover. I thought that maybe at the last minute, Cartoon Network decided to air a different episode that they thought should come on before the crossover. But man, was I disappointed. The episode started inside the house, but it was a bit quiet. Steven then came in through the screen door, looking a bit sad, but not in a depressed sort of way. Just his normal sad face. It was raining outside, so I thought that he was just sad that he couldn't be out there. Suddenly, Amethyst and Garnet come through the warp pad, but Pearl was missing. I noticed that Amethyst had a tear running down her face, and it looked like the normal cartoony style, very bright blue and not clear. I was a bit surprised by this, seeing how Amethyst is normally the most hyper and cheerful of the group. I went back on Pick College and asked for the Steven Universe fans to check with me about the new episode. Surprisingly, a few of my followers and friends were seeing the same exact thing that I was. For some reason, the episode went to commercials already, so I decided to chat about what was going on. We referred to each other by parts of our username, so this is how the conversation went. Me. Rubik's, Foxy, Creepy, did you guys just see that? Rubik's. Tails, we all saw that. Other Steven Universe fans are spamming posts of stuff about this already. Foxy. I just don't understand what's going on, though. Why were Steven clothes like that? Rubik's. I honestly don't know. Maybe something to do with Lion? Creepy. Possibly, but Lion's always loyal to Steven. He would never do that. Me. By the way, where in the world was Pearl? Creepy. Foxy. Rubik's. Maybe that's what Amethyst was crying about. Pearl being gone? Suddenly, I heard about the show was coming back on from commercials. Me. Guys, it's back on. We all continued to watch the show. It came back to where it was, but Steven was hugging Garnet and Amethyst, sobbing. It was in his normal voice, but his normal crying. Then, for the first time in the episode, someone said something. Garnet. Steven, everything is going to be okay. Steven. No! Pearl's gone. She's gone forever. I was shocked by this. I looked down at the conversation. Foxy. Pearl's gone? Creepy. Gone how? Is she dead? Me. Show wouldn't get that dark, guys. Rubik's. Guys, look. I looked up at the screen. Lion comes in through the door and is carrying Pearl's spear. Lion walks up to the others and drops it to the ground. It was snapped in half, but Lion hadn't done it. It was obvious it wasn't bitten in half, but forcibly pulled apart. Steven. How did this even happen? Garnet put a hand on Steven's shoulder and started telling him a story. Garnet. As you know, our gems are the source of all our powers. If we were to get weak, our gems would lose power and thus fade. Because of this, we are no longer able to go on, and will just fade out of existence. We tried our best to cure Pearl, but we were too late. This shocked me. Pearl had faded away? Suddenly the title made sense. Faded gems. The gems could fade away. I looked at the TV again. Stephen, I wish he was still here. He started sobbing again. The episode suddenly faded to black and faded to normal credits. That was really dark. I honestly couldn't believe what I just saw. I looked back down at the phone. Rubik's. What? Is Pearl dead? Me. No, she lost her power. She just simply faded away. Foxy. Guys, the TV. Creepy. I've never seen a Cartoon Network post a commercial like this. I looked at the TV in the normal cartoon font. It said this. We're sorry for the inconvenience. This episode was never meant to air. We now return you what is normally scheduled. Then the Steven Universe crossover came on. I was surprised to see that episode. Were all the gems supposed to fade away eventually? Even Steven? Me and my friends occasionally talk about the episode, but not much. I'll never forget that one fateful Steven Universe episode. And did anybody else record this? I mean, come on, there were DVRs in 2010. Just tell me if somebody recorded this or not. I really need to know. And that, my little shadows, was Steven Universe Faded Gems, a Steven Universe Lost Episode Creepypasta. My final thoughts on the story? Not a bad story. In fact, I actually found this Lost Episode Creepypasta to be rather believable and interesting. So here are my thoughts on what I enjoyed most about this creepypasta. For one, I really liked the idea of the episode that involved one of the gems, Pearl, ultimately fading away due to weakness. Basically, it being an original story, instead of going into the usual cliches of blood and gore that most other Lost episodes tend to kind of go into. Another thing about the story that I enjoyed was that all the characters reacted and acted the same way, and that honestly seemed kind of, well, on par with what the Steven Universe franchise actually has. Basically, like, they're not crying blood or doing basically anything that has to do with cliches. There really aren't any of them. It was an interesting story, to say the least. However, there were a few things about the story that really bugged me. The main thing that I can honestly say that I hated most about the story was the constant usage of mentioning cliches, hyperrealism being one of them in the story. This to me really didn't help. In fact, it actually took away a lot from the story. Okay, maybe not a lot, but definitely took away some things with the story. Now, here's what I would have done to make the story better. I'm going to summarize this in just one sentence, and I think you all can agree with me on this. I would have removed the entire mentions of creepypasta cliches, and the story would have been a top-notch story. Overall, though, this is just my personal opinion, and if you disagree with that, that's fine too. My final rating of the story would be a 9 out of 10. It's an interesting story, it's very believable, but at the same time mentioned way too many cliches that took away from the story. What did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you also agree with my review? Also, what would you do to make the story better? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. I'm the Shadow Reader, thank you guys again for watching, and like always, roll the outro.